Good morning, everyone. So we are on day 17, and it's really incredible for me to look back at the last over 2 weeks now and notice the shifts that I've been feeling in terms of my openness, in terms of senses of possibility. It's probably not a coincidence that this has coincided with some other work that I have been exploring and really learning how to create boundaries and the difference between boundaries with integrity and boundaries that are floppy and weak and that get changed all the time. And I'm noticing that creating the art is really helping me, not helping me as in there's an agenda, but helping me process and grow to gradually master more and more these processes. So I am going to flip you around and just show you what supplies I've got. Just kind of a Mod Podge again. This is it. I got some water. I've got some mermaid markers, paint pens, alcohol markers, watercolor markers, my water-soluble oil pastels, my gouache and watercolor, which I may or may not. These are the green leaf and blueberry handmade mineral pigments from the couple in Grand Junction, Colorado. And as I've mentioned before, they're more earth tones. They're not bright colors that I tend to gravitate towards, and I do find myself using them from time to time. And I'm not going to walk you through all of the spreads. This was day 16, this was day 15, and this was day 14. And before that, that was day 13. So got a little bit of progress here. And I'm going to dig right in with an alcohol marker. This is the Fine Point. This is a Mepsi alcohol marker. And I find that these seem to retain their juice a lot longer than the Studio 71 alcohol markers, which, as I mentioned too, were cheap. So I probably should have known that they were not going to last. Now I'm feeling drawn to pick up this Ecoline brush pen. I'm just creating a field of color. So yeah, I've been doing work with archetypes and fear-based triggers, and really consciously working with not just covering up what I have been experiencing. For example, I've been having a bit of an identity crisis around who I am, as not in terms of personal identity so much as who I am, as a professional. Like, what am I here to offer the world? Because while you are here experiencing these videos, my videos, my courses, etc., have not been widely received, in that they haven't I have felt like I have been creating a platform to really nourish and enliven and catalyze others, and over the last several years. And none of it has taken off. And so there's got to be a reason, right? Not that we need to necessarily know what that reason is, or to analyze, but with this new process I've been working with, it really allows me to, one, de-identify with who I thought I was, and realize that there's more likely something even more powerful, that perhaps I've been playing too small, And that while I really love creating and creating videos even, these kind of videos, perhaps there is a bigger way that I am meant to support others. And so I've been going through the process of just going to pour some of this ink on the page. Listening and processing and using my own tools and these new tools to explore what does that mean, not in a mental way, but becoming available and letting go. The letting go process is no joke. Letting go of who I thought I was and what I thought I was here to do. And not in a sad way, but in a, oh my gosh, how have I been hiding? How have I been holding myself back? And what, would I need to do to allow myself to move forward in a bigger, more miraculous, I guess, really, way. So this process, as I mentioned, has really allowed me to open up, because part of the letting go is to get rid of the agenda. And while that is often my intention, I can look back and see that, there has been agenda. The agenda of, I would really love for my artwork to support me and to not need a day job or 2 day jobs as it stands now. I would really love, and I have believed that it was possible for something that so nourished me that I feel could really benefit others to become my sustenance. And it is my sustenance in that it really nourishes me on my own, personal and energetic levels to create this way. And it has not been a source of financial sustenance or, freeing up time, etc. So, where am I clinging to what's known? Where am I clinging to what I think is possible? Where am I fitting myself into a box? Where am I expecting that I know the answer when the answer may not even be one, tied up in a bow answer. And so it really is about opening more and more and more and trusting that piece. So now I'm feeling compelled to bring in some purple. This is the water-soluble oil pastels. Just bringing it through. Moving my water. And I'm really finding I'm enjoying turning the pastels and pencils to the side, really getting that cool coverage and softness as well. Just adding that in. So yeah, and even in terms of artwork, I love my artwork. I love the way that I create. I feel like I pretty much do have a style that has developed over years of experimenting that is my own. And there's part of me too that is using this time to explore. I don't even really know what. I just know that my intention is to explore. So now I'm bringing in this paint pen. And doing some And really, it is that openness, that willingness to just explore without saying, okay, after 5 sessions, I need to have my purpose, and I need to have, a new offer for my clients, and I need to have a way to bring in money, and I need to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. My whole life needs to be transformed. It's not that simple. It's not. It's really not. And the truth is that anyone who tells you that it is not being honest. The same way with, I work professionally in websites and search engine optimization and all that kind of stuff. And, there are companies that will call you and tell you, oh, it's so easy, just do this and pay us this and you'll be number one in no time. And it does not work that way. Unless you have a whole lot of money and your competition in the keyword space is nil. It is a process, and everything is a process. And it's our willingness to not just accept that there is a process, but to really dive into it as a process. To not need that complete feeling like, do I want blue or do I want green? Or do I want this? I think I want this blue. Blue? I'm just kind of feeling into maybe green. I'm kind of holding the pastel up and inquiring and seeing if it feels, how it feels. If it feels resonant or not. So just continuing to explore and create and being willing to shift directions. Being willing to take a step without knowing where it will lead. And that's what this whole intuitive process is really about is, I'm making marks and I have no idea what the final piece is going to look like. I'm just listening and acting and creating. So that's where that comes in. And now I'm feeling like I want to get out a little bit of gesso. I don't really have a palette, so I'm just going to use the plastic back. I could just rip a piece of paper out of here, but I don't want to. So, all right, so I've got this. Now I'm just gonna, not even sure what I'm gonna do with this. Let's just try mashing it down. I've got some water in this brush, so just see what will. Just really kind of adding that in. It's kind of cool the way it's, I don't know, kind of adding a smokiness. And I do, oftentimes I do like to have a more opaque media. Like, gesso is kind of meant to be, either used as a primer, but it's used to cover things up a lot of times. And I really like that. Option. After I've laid down a bunch of media. To be able to add something that's got a little bit more of a opacity. And I get frenzied and sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes, tone it down a little bit more. All right, with that, I'll be complete. You know the drill, coming in close. There we go. Get you in close so you can really see the texture and the contrast, the different marks. And again, you might have your own process. You might even not enjoy texture and bright colors and making all these crazy marks that I do. And you might. But ultimately know that whatever you do, this is your exploration, this is your process, and it's okay to do this and to not be expecting anything, to not be expecting some huge miraculous transformation, to not be expecting a sudden new series of artwork, although the likelihood of that happening is kind of high. To expect to have something completely figured out at the end of this process. It's okay to just be doing it for the process, because every time that we really open our intuition and allow our soul to come through unfiltered and just play, we are creating the space. So if we've been constricted or holding on to something or frustrated about something, we are opening up the space and loosening the knots around all of that stuff so that things can shift on their own. And so it's not a direct correlation of I did this and this happened, but it is giving yourself permission and giving yourself the ability to create space and then catalyze, to allow momentum to build up within this new container that we've created, and then allow that to spark and initiate something completely new. So I invite you to be open, I invite you to continue to play, and I'll see you tomorrow.